What's going on, guys? It's Tang, and we're doing a comic book vlog for the week of August 12th, I think. Anyway, there's a lot of comics that came out that I really enjoyed, so it was a really good week of comics. Not to mention, all of them were enjoyable in their own way, maybe except like one, which was kind of weird to read, but for the most part, it was good. Anyway, let us get to our good stuff. Okay, first off is Starlord and Kitty Pryde, issue number 2. Now, I will admit I've not read the prior story with the with Kitty and Peter. It's not exactly fresh, but since Kitty Pryde's an alternate universe version that doesn't know Peter, but I can kind of see that they're probably gonna get close. And it is kind of cliched, like Kitty works for an evil enemy. Well, it's Doom basically, but finds out that Peter's an anomaly that disproves Doom as the creator of all things because he's God in this world. But they fight, kind of work together, and one of the characters, which is basically Kitty, has a goal, and they work together to achieve that goal. And there's one part in this comic, which is kind of a downtime, where after a fight with some bad guys, Kitty is knocked out, and Peter decides to watch over her, which isn't totally creepy, and get some pizza, by the way. And they kind of talk it out about their motivations, and they do kind of start fighting, insult each other about being a bad kisser or a bad singer, but in the end they have to work together to do something that Kitty needs to achieve, which is get this anomaly that Gambit had. So they kind of sneak into a museum, only to find that's a trap set up by Gambit, and we find out that he wants Kitty in his collection. And I enjoyed the comic for what it is. Well, the relationship is cliche, but I enjoy it enough to not complain much about it. But it was a good read, and I'm gonna see how it goes from there. Hopefully it continues to be good. It's enjoyable. Next up is Mrs. Deadpool and the Howling Commandos. So Shikla is still continuing her journey to get in the underworld to get the weapon that will destroy Dracula. It's actually a fragment of the weapon, but it's a start. Anyway, back at Dracula's mansion, I think he's being a little paranoid that there's somebody there watching him, and he thinks it's the Invisible Man. And it's really funny to see that because he's such a well-known icon, Dracula anyway, that seeing him freak out about something is really weird to see, but it's also refreshing. Anyway, Deadpool is since he's also a ghost, so he's being a little antsy about Chica and the Wolfman getting close, so he's trying to communicate with them, and only the Frankenstein's monster can hear him, to his chagrin. And in the end, Dracula does find an invisible person, but it's not the Invisible Man, it's the Invisible Woman, and he kills her, and Invisible Man is all sad, so it's like, aww, poor guy, he lost his wife. Deadpool knows how that feels. Kinda, yeah. And in the end, he finds out that his commandos are trying to betray him, usurp him from power, and he's gonna kill everybody. And it was a decent end. It's gonna conclude next month, I believe, September. So that'll be the end of this little mini-series, mini-arc, I don't know what you want to call it, but it was a good read. And I hope that they continue on this character, Shikla and Deadpool, but Marvel will probably break them up because, Marvel is that way. But it's better to have, like my brother said, it's better to have a relationship than no relationship. Next up is Eternal Soulfire, issue number 2. So, I'm getting kind of an X-Men vibe from this series. The main character Cassidy is being chased by some government troops that are trying to take in, destroy magical creatures. The society in this comic is kind of discriminatory towards magical creatures. So Cassidy is trying to get away, but she has her phone and they can use it to track her. And a new ally comes in. She has wings as well. And they manage to get away. In the end, the woman brings Cassidy to a refugee type camp to hide. And there's also other people with wings as well. And we also see the leader. And it's an interesting panel that I think it's pretty good. I like the art for the most part, but oh yeah, I forgot she has ulterior motives, it seems like. But like I said, I like the art. It's it's Aspen, so they always draw pretty well. And yeah, hopefully, I hope that it continues to be good, because Michael Turner usually, well, he's dead now, but his series tends to be, even after his death, they've been pretty decent, if not a little strange. Okay, next is Harrow Country. So, I like my haunted stuff. I like horror. With this one, the main character is a reincarnation of the witch. She's being hunted by the townspeople because her powers are starting to manifest, and she ran into the forest. And we start from there. There seems to be a demon lurking in the forest who knows her, and Emily, who doesn't know what's going on because she's reincarnation. She doesn't know anything at all. You forget. Runs away, and a guy in a car picks her up. It's the pharmacist, and knocks her out with chloroform. And we find that, what's the word? In her previous life, she had tasked him with bringing her reincarnated self and reminding her of what is going on, that she's a reincarnated witch. And he does just that, but he seems to be taken out or killed by her Emily's protector, the skinless boy. And Emily does confront the townspeople, which ironically, some of the townspeople were artificially created by her past self, out of mud and blood, and they grew to resent her. She does take out a few of the townspeople with her powers and threatens them that if they try to kill her, she'll bring the whole place down, kill them in self-defense. And in the end, life kind of returns to normal as it is for a witch with powers. And she does get requests to help save kids, that are sick with her powers. And the ending part, which was very intriguing, it kind of transports to a city in New York. Wrong way to say it. It transports to a New York type city. It's very urban, and we see it might be a older version of the character or another witch that looks like her, and it's gonna continue on from there. This person has money and power, and I'm kind of intrigued, and I want to see more of that with the next issue. So it seems to be a good start. Now this next one is Beauty, and which is intriguing in of itself because it kind of exemplifies sex in society. So there's a STD that when you get it, you grow beautiful. You lose fat. So it's an STD that people want, which isn't a good thing because it's still a disease. Let me say that the disease is not widespread. A lot of people get it just because, they have sex just so they can get it. But a person who has the disease spontaneously combusts. And these two partners, I believe it's Forston or Forrest or something. Foster, my bad. Foster and his other partner, Vaughn or whatever, which is the girl. The female partner actually has the disease, but they're trying to find some clues to why this woman spontaneously combusts, and they do find a lead about this anti-beauty terrorist, but they end up shooting him, and So there goes that lead. We'll probably see more leads and, you know, more progression of the story in the next issues as we move along. But at the end, Foster, you know, coming late to work from work, he has sex with his wife and finds out that she has the disease, and when he looks in the mirror, he curses out loud. It's like, oh, I have it. It's like, and he has the beauty now. So seeing that you die if you have the disease, that's not a good thing. People are randomly bursting into flames. Next up is Arcadia, which, I don't know, it's interesting enough, but how should I say it? It's very political, because in this issue, the people of the digital world discovered that 2 of their people were killed. They're not reconstituting, and that shouldn't be happening. Like, their IPs have been deleted, and they're officially dead in the digital world. And the people of that world are really angry, and so they're demanding the people of the biological world to revive or figure out what's going on, or else they'll disconnect and, you know, cease communication with the biological world, and possibly bring war, because they have access to the internet and computers and whatnot, and they could possibly, like, nuke the place if they want to without harming themselves, since they're computer data. And, you know, the digital people were actually real people, but when they died, they were uploaded to the system, you know, digitally, and now they live in the computer world. Next up. But it was good. Just, it's kind of boring, but it's intriguing because of politicalness that I find it so entertaining. Next up is Gotham Academy. So, from the last issue, Olive was reading a letter about her mom, and she managed to get her admission papers and finds out why she was brought into the school, mainly because her mom was probably some villain or something. And she confronts her teachers about it while attending to her friend that was injured, that can become a bat, basically. And they're attacked by a werewolf. Yeah. Previously, they were, like, searching around for the werewolf. But anyway, as the werewolf attacks them, the friends come along and they set up a plan to get it. And we see that Olive probably has some powers from her mother. And they do manage to catch the wolf and turn him back to normal. But at the end, Olive's friend, Palm, I was close. I was dang close. Confronts her and admits that she took the letter. And so they talk about it in like a auditorium where some kids are practicing for their play, but Olive's mother is on stage waiting for her and ready to probably kill her, and it ends there. So it's intriguing. It kind of reminds me, like I said last time, I think I said it last time, it's like Scooby-Doo with Batman elements in it. But it's enjoyable. I really freaking like it. It's so fun. Now here's one that everybody's been talking about in my comic store for some reason. It's Bombshells. Basically, DC females, superheroes, set them in 1940, where World War II is about to break. I think that, yeah, is breaking out, and see how they all react to it. Batwoman is basically a baseball vigilante. She even wears the outfit. Well, and it looks alright, I guess. I mean, you know, her lesbian interest is still intact. Kate, yep, her name's Kate Williams. That's still intact. Whatever, I don't complain about that. It's interesting to see. Wonder Woman, her island is in the crossfire between the US and Germany. Dogfights and all that, you know, airplane fights, which is dogfights. And Supergirl lives in Russia, and she joins like a aviator squad to dogfight, but she accidentally reveals her powers and Russia thinks that she's a traitor. And I thought it was interesting, really. It's a different take on the classics, but so we got Swords of Sorrow. So in this one, we finally get all the female characters to come and unite and fight evil. We also learned that the bad guy is Prince Charming, and we learned that the person leading the good side is the witch from Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. Really? It's like, oh. The comic overall is alright, but I like the general backstory on that take of Snow White. Prince Charming got revenge on the witch for putting Snow White to sleep, and Snow White, not being a very pacifist type of person, left Prince Charming, and so the witch, I guess, became a good person, and Prince Charming became a bad person because he started to resent the witch for doing that and how she made Snow White leave him. But for the rest of the comic, basically, you know, Vampirella, Red Sonja, Deja Doris, they're united with the other females who were recruited as well, and they're gonna fight the bad guys. So it really isn't much to see. I mean, they didn't even get to fight much. So we will end at that. Next up is Vampirella, Army of Darkness. Interesting. I love it. Now it's got interesting because we actually find out from... Okay, so since this takes place after Army of Darkness, that when Ash was trying to get the Book of the Dead, like near halfway in the movie, and he started spouting out the Klaatu Barad Nikto, you know, variations on all that, he accidentally summoned Vampirella and deadified her. So they managed to, you know, they fought for a bit, and you know, with Evil Dead-like comedy, you know, where Ash starts throwing stuff at her, and they get the problem solved, you know, after a few misunderstandings, and she returns to normal. But the people of, you know, the knights and all that, they still think she's bad, like, you know, a deadite, basically, and Ash has to... And, you know, Vampirella is going to be put on trial, and Ash has to defend her. But it was for the most part, that's what I imagined Evil Dead would work with Vampirella. You know, if you combine the two, that's how you should do it. I was kind of worried because they were kind of fighting in the first issue, so good to know. Good to see that. Alright, we only got like 3 comics left. This is a long freaking video, but there's so much good stuff! Oh my god! Grimm Fairy Tales. Yeah. Maybe this wasn't so good. Okay, no, it was kind of good. So since the attack, a lot of the students and teachers are kind of paranoid, so, and there's this new student coming in. He's from Wonderland. Yeah, like anything good comes from that place. Ew. Anyway, this guy thinks that the new kid's a bad person, so she's not trusting him. At the end, Wolf and his cat friend are, you know, smoking a joint from Wonderland, and the cat guy has a bad reaction to it, and he's seeing weird stuff. I mean, it's not too bad. The art's a lot better in this one, I feel. Maybe if, you know, you give people time, they get used to the drawing. So the art was decent this time. But it was good. I liked it. You know, it was good. Yeah. Next up, Wonderland. Creepy, man. So for this one, since the bad guy managed to get away, and Kaylee has returned to Earth, a little annoyed and peeved off, and she has communicated with her friend or acquaintance, as they call. Seems like the bad guy got to him, and he's under the bad guy's influence from, you know. And when you're under the influence of Wonderland, you tend to do crazy things. So Kaylee, figuring out what's going on, she decides to go to his house. But he managed to kill his wife, and he was probably gonna go kill his son if not for Kaylee intervening. And she manages to knock him out and kind of puts him in the hospital. But the bad guy gets him back and transports him to Wonderland. And probably gonna like corrupt him and stuff, you know, NTR and all that. I'm not gonna bring that up. You don't need to know. but it was decent. That's what I like. I like seeing this dark takes on classic stories like Alice in Wonderland and whatnot. But now finally, it's Apollo 9. You know, with the Aphrodite series and Ninth Generation, it's interesting. Like, I feel like I'm more buying this because of Steven Sajic's art. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Steven's art. The guy usually does the art for Ninth Generation. And now it's going to change in the next issue for Ninth Generation. Anyway, Apollo is trying to figure out, you know, teleportation and all that, and he hires a girl by the name of Psyche to help him. And his assistant is very jealous because she's smart and very, very knowledgeable. And they do figure out the teleportating thing, and on their trial, Apollo says that, you know, you should try it, because, you know, that's how science works somehow. I don't know. Anyways, the teleport works, but it sends her to Hades area, and she gets killed. And Apollo figures out that somebody tampered with it, and it was actually the assistant. So in retaliation, he sends him to space. And I wasn't digging the art at first, but I was compelled by the story. You know, like, because, like, in the end, Apollo is basically alone. I mean, he is God in this world, along with his brothers and sisters. But he found an interest with the new girl. You know, when he asked her, why do you work with your hands when you have, like, robots that can help you? But Psyche just, you know, she likes working with her hands. You know, she likes the feeling of holding the metal herself. And it was kind of disappointing to see her die because of some a-hole. Anyway, it was compelling. So yeah, this is one of the few examples of bad-looking art or mediocre art, but decent story. Anyway, that was all the comics. So it was a really good week, seeing as how I'm talking like so long that I am tired of talking right now. So that was like 14 comics that I just talked about that were compelling enough for me to actually talk about, and not just like, oh, it was like, I thought it was alright, but, and, you know, blah 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 blah. So yeah, did I get anything else? Felt like I did. Oh, right. So, last one is, Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane. Basically, if you think Spectacular Spider-Man, which used to be on WB, and, combine it with the drum of teenage romance angst and all of that, that's what you get. Spider-Man is in a love square between Firestar, Mary Jane, and Gwen. And I like it because of the romance aspect. It kind of reminded me of Spectacular. My brother also got to read it, so he even said it reminded him of Spectacular Spider-Man. I wish that would come back, but we'll never get it anyway. But I got this at like $15. It's basically volume 2. It collects like issue 5 to 20, so it was perfect. So I already have like some of I already had the prior one, so I needed to buy like 3 volumes worth of comics. But this one bundles it up conveniently, and for $15, yeah, I got it for cheap. And that was it basically. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like or subscribe or comment down below. If you want, follow me on Twitter, Google+, or whatever. I don't have a Facebook, but maybe I should. Maybe, but I don't want to get hacked. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.